Spotlight game. Defending 5A champion Gilbert Williams Field has outscored its first two opponents 81-0, including a 13-0 win Friday at Glendale Deer Valley in a battle of the trenches. Williams Field's defense has been the early surprise of the season as the Blackhawks ran their win streak to 16 games. Coach Steve Campbell had to replace 9 starters from last year's 14-0 team. He came into Friday's game without 3 offensive starters, then lost a key running back to another injury early in the second quarter. A bend-but-don't-break defense stifled Deer Valley after the Skyhawks had moved from their 2-2. The Williams Field 13-on-13 plays, beating Big Junior backed as Melton 10 times. Then, a holding penalty and a false start by Deer Valley ended that drive. It was Deer Valley's only serious drive of the game. Williams Field QB Zach Shepard scored on a 14-yard run early in the final quarter for a 13-0 lead. He also had a 62-yard scoring strike in the first half to Noah Pola-Gates, a college recruit at safety, who is being worked into the offense more this season. What we learned. Phoenix Pinnacle junior quarterback Spencer Rattler has some help this year with a defense that might be the best Dana Zupka has had since he's been at the school. So far, the Pioneers have allowed just 10 points in their 2-0 start in a 0-week 45-7 rout of Brophy Prep. Brophy's only score came on a short field after a turnover. Following that with a 49-3 dominance at Chandler Basha on Friday shows this is a different Pinnacle team, one that won't put so much pressure on Rattler to lead scoring drives on every possession. Still, Rattler was phenomenal against Basha, throwing 24 of 27 for 262 yards and 4 TDs, 3 of which went to Ty Hogan Hatton. Last year, starting against the same two opponents, Pinnacle allowed 72 points and ended up giving up 411 points throughout a 6-6 season. On the rise. Gilbert Highland made Mesa Skyline's offense look dormant in a 21-0 6A victory to improve 2-0 under new coach Brock Farrell on Friday. It was the first time Skyline has been shut out since 2012. Coach Angelo Pafumi's first year at Skyline. Highland won that late September 2012 encounter, 28-0. Last year, Highland lost to Skyline 28-21 during a 3-7 season. Highland plays a tough schedule and will know more about itself when it plays Gilbert Perry, Phoenix Mountain Point and Phoenix Desert Vista in a row. But so far the Hawks are among the teams making early surprise statements. Making a move. Tempe McClintock, under first-year head coach Corbin Smith, opened its season with a 42-6 rout of Casa Grande Vista Grande on Friday. The Chargers did it by mimicking the former great McClintock teams in the Carl Kiefer era. Tyrese Green had 292 all-purpose yards and 5 TDs. Dylan Mamanigal ran for 103 yards. The defense gave up just 2 first downs in the first 3 quarters. And the Chargers ran for 301 yards on 44 carries. Smith, the son of former University of Arizona and USC great coach Larry Smith, waited a long time to have his own program. He will make the most of this opportunity. A defining moment early in the Smith era comes next week against high-scoring Marana. Under the radar, Pima was ranked number 10 in 2A after a 0-week win with the memory of beating Gilbert Christian 48-24 last year still fresh on its mind. But it hadn't seen the new and improved Nick Hershey at quarterback. Hershey, who had 284 yards and 2 TDs in that loss last year, was 36 of 65 for 609 yards and 7 TDs in a 52-48 win this time around. He was intercepted twice and ran for 26 yards. Favorite target Braden Finkbeiner wasn't too shabby, either. He had 8 catches for 229 yards. Around the state, in one of the more spectacular shootouts anybody will see all season, Vale Cienega QB Jamari Joyner got the last word over Marana QB Trenton Bourguet in a 57-50 win. A combined 51 points were scored in the final quarter. Joyner scored on TD runs of 10, 18, 3, 50 and 1 yard. The winning TD came with 26 seconds left. He also threw TD passes of 72 and 15 yards. Bourguet had 5 TD passes. Scottsdale Christian tied it to a single-game record with 8 interceptions in a 72-0 rout of Chandler Arizona College Prep, which is playing its first season of football. Devin McClay returned 2 interceptions for TDs and Christian Pank intercepted 2 passes. Jacob Cates, who also had an interception, now has returned 3 kicks for scores in the Eagles' 2-0 start. Scottsdale Notre Dame is 2-0 in the George Prelock era, after Cole Fisher, 173 yards on 33 carries, punched in his 3rd TD rushing of the game in overtime, beating Goodyear Desert Edge 27-21. Tucson Sabino beat rival Tucson Saguaro 41-0. Behind QB Alex Bell's 169 yards and 3 TDs passing, RB Isaiah Smotherman had 200 rushing yards. Peoria Liberty beat Anthem Boulder Creek 42-7. As receiver turned quarterback Ryan Bendel was 9 of 13 for 238 yards and 5 TDs. Top-ranked 5A Peoria Centennial 2-0 had its 2nd shutout in a row, beating Glendale Apollo 41-0, as all-everything Alex Escobar had 102 yards and a TD receiving, 40 yards and 2 TDs rushing and a 27-yard kick return, not to mention a sack on defense. Chandler Hamilton's defensive woes that plagued it all last season continued in a 41-28 loss to 5 of Power Queen Creek, as the Bulldogs rolled up 660 yards total offense. Devin Larson had 2 passing TDs and 1 rushing score for Queen Creek 2-0. This is another great Queen Creek team that could be looking at 9-0 before facing Williams Field. Scottsdale Desert Mountain senior Brayton Narvison rated the No. 1 kicker in the state for the 2017 season by AS Central Sports. Kicked a 58-yard field goal in a 51-26 win over Mesa. Mesa's big highlight was running back Chris Jackson, who had 3 TDs, including an 82-yard punt return. Glendale Cactus dominated Prescott Valley Bradshaw Mountain 61-23. Behind sophomore RB Anthony Flores, who ran for 204 yards and 4 TDs. Second-ranked 2A Thatcher, the defending champs, held Benson to 8 rushing yards in a 42-0 rout. Tucson Push Ridge took advantage of 6 Queen Creek American leadership turnovers, including defensive back Tamrat McLeod taking back an interception 15 yards for a touchdown. In a 24-14 victory, this was a battle between 2 of the top 3A teams. Push Ridge, with only 27 players dressed for the game, outscored defending champion Alla 10-0 in the final quarter. Top-ranked 1A Baghdad ended the top California 8-man football team's 31-game winning streak, beating Yucca Valley Joshua Springs 56-24. Israel Love all passed for 340 yards and 4 TDs in the win. Gilbert matched its win total from last season with a 49-34 season-opening victory over Gilbert Mesquite. Gilbert's last winning season came in 2008,